Should read topic number 3 says. Should read topic number 3 says one sister stood her ground unwavering in the face of the chaotic hashtag MAGA cult supporters. This came with a link that takes us back to Twitter. I found this to be so ridiculous, but this is from BMB Empower Network. It says one sister stood her ground unwavering in the face of the chaotic MAGA cult supporters. I'm going to play the video. It's a minute and a half of ridiculousness, and then we'll discuss it.
One more time. One more time. Yeah, I mean, that's no price. Something much there. Something there. This is New York. We don't talk. I'm making a team. I like that. Do something, bro. I like that. Do something. I got like that. Take me out! 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 Knock me out! Knock me that's why women get the ass kicked. Don't throw that shit. Knock me out. You need a man to put you in place. I'll put you in your place. Knock me out. Knock me out. You need to marry a woman. Knock me out. You said you'll beat me up. Knock me out. 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 You just ain't gonna knock me out. Knock me out. I ain't Tyrone. Knock me out. Knock me out. You just showing you're racist. You showing you're racist.
I'm not. I'm Ecuadorian. That's why I say, hey man, if you have a chance to call ICE on these motherfuckers, call it. I have no apologies for it. Someone was trying to get this guy to be identified. I'm not sure if they did or not. But he was like, nah, I'm not Tyrone. Sorry about the sound coming back through. I'm not Tyrone. I'm Ecuadorian. So that sister stood up. She stood tall. She didn't let herself be dominated by this little punk on a scooter. Imagine that. And this is in New York, by the way, which is historically, if I'm not mistaken, is a blue state. Trump's from here, and people don't even like Trump here. But here's this Ecuadorian from some generation, second, third generation, and he's out here standing up in his sister's face. So, if you're gonna call ICE, there goes your first person. Anthony McPhail, you've been patient here. Thanks for being here, first of all. Anthony, how are you this week?
Hey, I'm doing fine, man, brother. How about you, man?
I'm doing good. Thanks for coming through.
Yeah, man.
It's working for everyone under the circumstances. But Anthony, what are your thoughts? Go ahead.
Yeah. Hey, and peace to all the other brothers on the panel too, man. Yeah, I like when I seen it, man. I seen it, and I immediately I wanted to go out and commit a hate crime, man. For real, I ain't gonna lie. I wanted to go out and get one of them, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, that shit had me so pissed off, man. I'm like, my blood boiled when I seen that shit. I'm like, man, where the brothers at? Where was the brothers at? You know what I mean? To come and get back in this little motherfucker face and shit. Because he was just like, he really wanted to fight that sister, man. Just think about how much of a coward you got to be to want to get in a female's face, man. And fight her like she a dude. You know what I'm saying? All up in her face like that, man. I'm just like, and how comfortable he was doing it. But then, I was just checking out because I was reading a little bit about it. And then, like you said, brother Coco, that he was an Ecuadorian, man. And I was just like, well, let me check out this. And hey, it's black people in Ecuador. Ecuador is a pretty racist place too. You know what I'm saying? Just like throughout all of Latin America, Spanish-speaking America. Wherever you go, man, they have an anti-blackness there. And so, like you were saying, it don't matter like if you in New York, you in a Democratic Party state or whatever. Anti-blackness is a thing in this country, man. It's a thing in this country. It's just like, the people, this whole people of color shit, which I ain't never like that shit. But you know what I'm saying, black and brown, and brown ain't never stood up and said brown and black. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you could just look at it in California, man. How the brown brothers is what they doing to the black brothers in Southern California, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, basically like trying to run them up out of there and shit. I was just like, damn, man. This. I mean, this is some bullshit, man. I mean, and we got to do what we are. Hey, we talk about this all the time, man. We got to organize, man. And we got to realize, Negro, you ain't got no friends. Without talking about all this brown, this brown and black and this people of color shit, you ain't got no goddamn friend but yourself. You know what I'm saying? You got to do for yourself. You got to worry about your goddamn self. We as black people here in America, black people all over the world, we got to realize that we only have ourselves. We only gonna save ourselves, man. And we got to work together. We got to put aside all this old division and arguing over this and that and all this shit and realize the bigger picture, man. We talking about our survival. You know what I'm saying? As a people, man. That's what we got to look at. Because I mean, it sounds like, okay, wow, man, it ain't gonna be that bad. Yes, it is gonna be that bad. It is gonna be that bad. If you keep on letting this shit slide, you know what I'm saying? We gotta come together. We gotta organize among ourselves. We gotta work with each other. We gotta put away the bullshit, and we can't let shit like this happen. Like I said, man, I was dead serious. I want to go out and hurt me some motherfuckers when I seen this shit. But yeah, it's fucked up though, man. But I ain't gonna go on too long, man. I'll leave it at that, Coco.
I appreciate that, Anthony. Yeah, I felt the same way when I saw it too. And I'll tell you what, I'm gonna call this guy's name here. I don't care who gets upset about it, be damned. But when I saw that this guy in the video was wearing the same hat as Pan Africanism Strikes Back, that really rubbed me wrong. That really rubbed me wrong.
And it's also another dude that he rock with. It's a Nigerian dude. His name is called Chaotic Truth. He be wearing the MAGA hat too, and he's Nigerian, first generation. I think he was born in Nigeria and he grew up here.
Yeah, that really rubs me wrong, man. That means that, do you really care about your folks, man? You know what I mean? Anyway, with that said, let me go to Kofi, since Kofi is speaking now. Kofi, speak on it.
Now, y'all gonna keep saying that I'm being petty, but to all the people that's saying that the parties are the same, when have you ever had a Democrat in mass and its followers go against marginal communities? Never, never, never. But according to y'all still stuck that all the parties are the same. Which it isn't. It just shows you one party is emboldened racism, and the other one is trying to extinguish the fire of racism. But you guys keep saying it's all the same. I don't know what fucking reality y'all live in. Anyway, moving forward, I noticed that they said she's from like they thought she was from Guatemala or whatever. I'm assuming that she spoke Spanish, and because they didn't show like how this all started. She spoke Spanish, and he probably thought that she was a quote unquote immigrant, right? And this really got to me because again, my wife is Panamanian Jamaican, right? And that could be one of her cousins. Probably speaking to one of her cousins in Spanish at a particular time or whatever, and then some white man's gonna jump in her face and say, "Oh well, she's an immigrant and she don't belong here." He feels Trump has put the battery in their back to feel that they could do whatever they want. Hence the topic we had today about, hey, is that fire was done maliciously by MAGA after the election? There's a lot of things that's happening right now because he's emboldened them to the text that someone on the text that black people are getting saying that they're going to be back in slavery and a slave recruiter's going to come knocking on their door and they have to report this is what they're doing, right? And look, we black, we family or whatever, but if you voted for the couch you didn't vote at all. You think it's the same thing? All this shit is on y'all. All this shit is on. Look, black people came out, whatever, but you need to get your fucking mind right. That's all I gotta say. So when I saw this video, I said the same thing. I was like, yo, where are the black men? This is in New York. This is in New York City. If you know anything about New York City, is you don't have to wait long till a black guy comes through. You know what I'm saying? But at least for the people that was there, you know what I'm saying? I'm glad that they were there to break it up and whatever, but we're gonna see more of this. We're gonna see more of this. It's gonna be like when Obama first came into president and they had effigies of Obama, of a noose around Obama's neck, saying they're gonna hang him, all that other stuff. It's gonna be more than that, but worse. Because again, like I said before, Trump is their Christ. Trump is the Messiah. Obama was the devil. Obama was the Dark Ages, right? Even though they're coming off a Republican president after 9/11 that did all that bullshit, right? Obama saved the economy, did bank bailouts and all that other stuff, right? But Obama was so evil. Why? Because this is blackness. Trump is their Messiah, and the Messiah has died. He's here. He did good, and now he has risen. So to them, these motherfuckers think they're in heaven right now. It's a resurrection of their white Jesus, and they're in heaven. So they're gonna be very emboldened, and a lot more of this is going to happen. And I just can't stand people who don't see that. Some people keep going back and say, "Oh, Clinton." Yeah, okay. Let's go back to Obama when all this was happening during Obama. Let's go back to so 4 years ago when Trump was first in office. All this shit was happening. This shit wasn't happening 4 years ago. What did Biden do in order for to embolden Democrats or whoever, or let's even go Antifa, to attack black people like this? Nobody, right? But right now we're so comfortable right now thinking shit's not gonna happen. We wanna go back 30, 40 fucking years about what Biden did or Reagan did, and we want to just stick our heads in the sand. Like, no, we can't do that. And my last thing I'm gonna say about this, and I said it on my live last night, we need to get ready. We need to, like, I'm about to go to Philly and get my wife a gun, because you don't have to wait that long to get a gun in Philly versus here in New York. I'm about to go get her a gun. I'm gonna make sure that we're stocked, we're ready. If anything goes down or some shit like that, we got enough food, we got enough water. You know what I'm saying? We got to pretty much doomsday prep, at this rate, just in case. I'm not trying to fearmonger or whatever, but these things can happen, and we have to be extra vigilant right now. There was always a target on our back. Yes, that's true. There's always a target on our back, but we got to understand this is not normal. This is not a Bush era. This is not a Reagan era. This is more like a fucking Nixon era right now. You know what I'm saying? Where shit is real. And I'll just end it there.
Appreciate that, Kofi. In the chat, Provitrix Revolution said there's something to be said about the conservatization of immigrants post their arrival to the U.S. Many arrive with anti-black sentiments towards African Americans. Let's not kid ourselves. She goes on and says, let's not kid ourselves as Pan-Africanists. She says, I have experienced ultra-religious Muslim Senegalese immigrants right here in New York who have voted for Trump and support the genocide in Gaza. Listen, when I worked the polling station this week for the election, I saw Palestinians voting for Trump, man. Arabs/Palestinians. We here talking about free Palestine. These motherfuckers was voting for Trump, man.
Yo, Coco, real quick, can I ask you a question? I'll ask you a
Yeah.
question real quick. So, because we look at these Palestinians, right? Because there is colorism in their groups or whatever. Or these, like, because you see some Palestinians, they're nearly like white looking people. Were
Yeah.
they like white looking, or you can tell, okay, this person's probably like from like Arab descent?
White looking. And to be honest with you, I've never seen a black looking Palestinian.
They always look Arabic or close to Caucasian.
Yeah.
Oh, that probably explains it.
Exactly. The major said all black people are soft targets now. Absolutely. Brother Bakari says, Coco, I'm glad you showed this video. It proves our point. So let me just say this too. You know, like I said, this is a purge night. This is a night we'll purge. We're gonna get it all out. We might even go over
Come
11
on.
if my
Oh yeah,
this
yeah, they purge it. Yeah, man, they purge it. They purge it. They purge it.
yeah, no. This is a purge night. Like I said, we might even go over 11 if my panelists are okay with it. Because this is just shooting breeze topic number 3. But let's get it all out. We gotta come together though over the next not just 4 years, but whatever number of years. We need to come together and start working together more closely than we have before. With that said, let me hear from Oni. I haven't heard Oni's voice in a minute. Oni, what say you to this?
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised. I mean, it's weird that a dude's trying to square up with a woman. You know, like I don't usually see that, and like people were saying, seeing that in New York is kind of weird. Uh, but yeah, I mean, this is as people point out, that's the like I don't understand. Like for me, I don't understand what black folk are thinking is going to happen when this guy goes in office. Like when this felon, this, rapist, racist, whatever, right? When this guy is in office and he don't got another term to go over, and the Republicans, because here's the thing: when Trump won the Republican primary, people were like, the Republicans are done. Like people forget this, but like we were like, yo, they're done. There's no way that they elected this idiot. Like they can't be the same party they were before. And the reality is that, yeah, they can't be. And here's the thing about it too. It's that, I don't want to say like kind of like how Obama was magnetic, and charismatic, right? Now Trump's not that, right? But for white racism, Trump was. To the point where just like the Democrats can't find another Obama per se, right? The Republicans aren't going to try to find another. I mean, aren't going to find Trump. This guy. I don't really listen to him, but as far as I can tell, he's probably like a funny guy. He's just whatever. I don't know. But what I'm saying is this: he won. So no, sorry. What I'm saying is this: the Republican Party has like 4 years from now, the Republican Party has a plan, has an agenda. Okay, and they are wondering, can we include Trump, or how are we going to hold on to this racism? Like, how are we going to be able to stoke this racism that kept us going? Right? Either that, or they're saying to themselves, we only got 4 years to do everything that we need to get done. 4 years particularly to capture the fucking state. To keep ourselves in power indefinitely, because we're looking at it like, okay, well, in 4 years, they can run against somebody else. The question is this: who are they going to run against? One, and who are they going to run? Is it Vance? Is it Vance 2028? Is Vance really that guy? Because that's what happened with Kamala. Was Kamala that girl? Was she that girl to follow up Biden? And who was on the Democratic field? Who's on the Republican field? People think that the Republicans are over. And here's the thing: it's like they're not. And what's going to happen as we move forward is you're going to have you're going to see that white people are going to want to take this country, quote unquote, back for the long haul. And what that may mean is coming after your black ass in the broad daylight. And what coming after your black ass in the broad daylight really translates into is lynching parties. Okay? Black folk got to get ready for these lynching parties. And for those people who don't like the party, I understand that. But, your invitation you know what I'm saying? You bet you gonna be the dinner. Like the cows don't want to go to no beef party or whatever, but they the main entree. So I don't know what black folk are thinking at this point, but shit. I would just say one thing for sure is get out. I know people say Africa ain't safe. Okay. But, I'll tell you, I'm pretty damn safe from a lynching party. I'll put it that way. That's it.
Okay, you finish that off. Pretty safe from a lynching party. That's good stuff. In the chat, the revolutionary matron says, MAGA men are cowards and look to Trump for their manhood. So, of course, this guy is okay with facing off with a woman. He sees her as competition and a real threat to his desired way of life. Provide Triggers for Evolution says immigrants are generally overwhelmingly propagandized into the notion of obtaining the quote-unquote American dream. Assimilation into Trumpism is the name of the game. Yeah, that's exactly what we're seeing here. Good commentary from the two sisters in the chat, our matron and Provide Triggers for Evolution. I really do appreciate you guys. Brother Bakari had a message earlier. He says this Ecuadorian male, he's representing what Buana and Black Steel was just blocking bullets for. The person that made the hat, that's Trump, right? So again, like I said, this is a purging. Let's just get it all out. I'll start with Buana. Buana, what are your thoughts on Shoot the Breeze topic number 3
Hey,
tonight? How sister standing up
sure,
to
sure,
this guy? Go ahead.
sure. So before I get into that, let me just first say I understand that my brothers, because of the election, they feel a certain way. And Brother Wakari was talking about his dad the other day and how his dad had the ability to love people who or respect people who didn't agree with him. On this panel tonight, I guess I get called. What is it? I wear a skirt for Trump and blag and all kind of nonsense that Brother Wakari and Kofi's be on from time to time. And I respect these brothers greatly. They get this guy and his man cussing. Kofi usually like really reserved, but they get him. This politics get him cussing. You know what I mean? He needs to go eat some aloo pie and find some chutney to relax. Brother Bakari need to go find a nice cigar and calm down, bro. I understand, you're triggered right now, and I respect the fact that I am reserving my comments and commentary. I'm not gonna get into a back and forth with your brothers politically because it's not my intention to further exacerbate what happened already. You know what I mean? I am not a Trumpist. I keep on telling these brothers that they it seems like they put their hands over their ears and ignore me. But I am not a Trumpist. But I am a person who like to have political conversations where we discuss both sides. This ain't the time to do that, so I'll have to eat that for now. For now, so y'all throwing your little pot shots at me. I can take it for now. But I can tell you, you know what I mean? The pendulum swings both ways, so I'll wait. Needless to say, though, for this particular prompt, right? I would tell my brother Bakari, y'all want to have it both ways, because if I was to say I'm trying to stand and defend his sister honor and stand on her behalf, she shouldn't even be approaching this man. She shouldn't even be. Where's her husband? Where's the man in her life to say, "Come, baby," or even stand up? You know what they can say to me? They can say, "Oh, misogynist, manosphere." So it's like if I'm manosphere, Andrew Tate they say you must defend your woman. Your woman shouldn't be even engaged in these kinds of conversations and activities. They can say, "Oh, manosphere," and in the same end, they all in with the Democrats. Women should be the rulers in the universe and all that. Oh, which is fine. You know what I mean? Which is fine because God forbid, you want to get called a misogynist. And looking at this, I'm looking at like what the Hebrew Israelite brothers who be downtown all day long. The Hebrew Israelite brothers would have defended this. I don't know. Maybe they would have defended this. I don't know. But if I was triggered by watching this video, because I'm not gonna allow some random person to talk crazy like that. But I have to worry because I'm thinking the woman who I gonna come and stand on her behalf, she may be one of these people who may not think that a man should represent her in any way. And she may say, well, "You can't say nothing to me. You can't say nothing. Don't speak on my behalf. I'm a woman and I control my," you know. So I am just, I don't know. I would love to know that there are women out there who don't mind a man defending them because I would want to defend something like this. I think it's absurd. And I'd slap him in his, you know what I mean? But you ain't got to go there. I just think that it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And I would want to defend this. But for the sake of not being called a misogynist or someone who engaged in the manosphere, I would have to be quiet about this. I'd have to be quiet, you know. But I'll leave it there, brother. Not brother Makai. I'll leave it there. I'll leave it there, Koku. I'll leave it there.
Yo, Buana, I never called you any names, man. You keep saying y'all. I didn't call you one name ever yet. I even look, brother Bakar. He's his
No,
own
no, no,
man.
you didn't. No, you
Whatever,
didn't. No,
but
you didn't. No, you didn't. You didn't call me anything. You didn't call me anything. That's true. That's true. I apologize. I apologize, Kofi. You didn't call me one
I
name, but I
value both.
understand the
I
brother's
value
triggered.
both of y'all opinions. I value both of y'all opinions. You know what I'm saying? So, and it makes good banter. So,
Yeah, but when you're talking about Guyanese food, you gotta. It's not aloo pie so much. You gotta talk about pepper pot or something like that.
yeah,
That's what.
man. Yeah, man.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah,
Alu
yeah,
pie is
Come on.
Trinidadian.
yeah.
Alu pie is
Aloo
Trinidadian.
pie. Yeah. Aloo pie is Trinidad. That's one of the good things. Side note of like having come to New York, I get to learn about these different Caribbean cultures and what they like main dishes and stuff like that. It's truly an interesting thing, man. Um, with that said, let's hear from Black Steel. Black Steel, what say you?
All right. So to address the actual prompt at hand, right? This is first of all, I wish to echo the other brother's sentiments. I wish I would have been there, right? Um, they're in New York. I know Florida is a stand your ground state, and usually we're packing. So I probably would have. He probably wouldn't have wrote his mama again had he done this in some place where they have a concealed carry rights. But she stood her ground. But these racists are emboldened now that their daddy Trump is back in office, right? They feel, they can. Happy times are here again, right? Um, I don't think it needs to be said that I'm not a Trump supporter, right? And I think we can criticize the Democrats without supporting the Republicans. Um, when I say that, the many of the designs of the Republicans and Democrat Party they overlap, right? So they differ in their methods, they differ in their rhetoric, and they also differ because the Democratic Party, like Kofi was saying, there are some measures to hold them accountable, whereas the Republican Party is not. This white man, I mean, and one thing about him being Ecuadorian, Latino is not a race; it's it's an ethnicity, right? So you can be a Latino person of any racial background. There's Afro Latinos, there's even Chinese Latinos, there's mixed race Latinos. But the reality is that as many Latin people who originate in Latin America, they're descended from white people from Europe, except they're Europeans came from Spain, right? Whereas most white people in the U.S. they're more, they came from Northern Europe, more like, Great Britain, you know, Eastern Europe too. You got a lot of Slavic, Italian, so there's a little bit more. But those white people that came to Latin America, you know, they're the descendants of the conquistadors. It was a reason why when at the World War II, a lot of the Nazis fled to South America because that type of thinking was a-okay there. They felt comfortable. So the idea that a Latin person would be white supremacist is not a surprise to me. I'm in Florida. I know how those Cubans in Miami get down, right? There's a reason why Castro called them gusanos, which is Spanish for worms, right? He called them worms in his mind. They were bottom feeders. But just overall, I just see this racism. This is not new racism, right? White people have always been violent. Being black, just a black person existing in a white space could be a trigger for some white people. They used to literally burn black people alive for fun. That was a source of recreation or torture or mutilation. That's as American as apple pie. But I think that with Trump being back in office, and the Republicans taking control, it really emboldens them to feel like, oh, we can do these things and we won't be prosecuted for it. It won't. That's their idea of making America great again. To go back to a time where violence against Black people was so normalized that you could do it in broad daylight and there would be no repercussions for it. That's what they want to do. They want to bring back that. And I think when you look at both parties, right, the Democratic Party, of course they're going to speak out against that because most of their constituents are, people of color, Black, Asian, Latino. That makes up most of their demographics. There has to be that party that opposes that on the face of it. They have to speak out against that. But the Democrats are just as bloodthirsty as Republicans are. Look how they're talking now when their candidate didn't win. And I haven't forgotten how easily the Democrats are willing to overlook genocide to get their candidate elected. I haven't forgotten that. I remember at the Democratic convention when there was a protest against the genocide, some Black woman decided to twerk in front of people who were protesting that. Now, is that the same level of what this man is doing? Absolutely not. He's yelling at this woman. He's threatening violence towards her. On the other hand, you had a woman shaking her ass in front of a crowd of people who are calling for a stop to mass murder of children, right? But the idea that Black people would align themselves with this imperialist, white supremacist, colonialist system as long as their candidate gets elected. If their candidate doesn't get elected, well, I hope all those people over there can burn. How are we sounding like them crackers again? Again, it's so funny to me once the veil of respectability has been lifted. If you scratch a Democrat and they'll bleed fascists. That's what we're turning into as a country. Voting for the lesser of two evils had brought us to this point. As someone who is above all things, I'm a Pan-African, I'm a Black man. I want my people to be free and liberated. I don't care who's in office, right? We might get some marginal concessions as a citizen, yes. But overall, the system itself is against African people. And it has been since its inception. We were written as 3/5 of a human being in their constitution, right? We were never intended to be free from our bondage. So I see these two entities, even though they move differently, right? Their ultimate goal, which is full spectrum dominance of the American system. It wasn't Trump, it was Harris who said she wanted to make America the military, the most lethal military in the world. She's the one in getting war criminals like Dick Cheney endorsing her. What are we talking about here? Yeah, I see this random dude yelling at this woman in the street, and he's fucked up for it. Somebody needs to crack his skull open. Trump is emboldening these people. But let's not act like the system has already been racist. I'll leave it there.
Hear that, Black Steel? In the chat, Trigger262 Plus says, couldn't it be argued that both parties have not necessarily stopped the genocide against Black people? If Black people are in an internal colony conditions in America, how are both less responsible? He says the idea of neocolonialism is to have slight concessions and illusions to continue the same system you started. I'll throw that back to you guys at the end. Let's welcome in our brother Jose Bronze. Jose, how are you this week?
Yes, good evening, good night, good morning. I'm okay. I'm okay. I was in the listening mode, to be honest. And yeah, greetings to everybody, panel, chat. I was in the listening mode, but I actually came on for the following comment. So I'm on the other part of the Western world, right? And there's a few countries here, and more separate than the states of the United States, right? What I see happening here is that the traditional left has committed suicide, be it deliberate or not. I'm 100% sure here in the Netherlands it was deliberate, because the guy that did it, he just he had just sold out Venezuela for Shell, and that's what caused that revolution on which Chavez had his come up. And he came here and he led the largest traditional left party, literally the party of the worker. That was literally the name of the party. The most party, the most people voted for it, because it was literally the party for the working class. And he literally said that there was no working class anymore. But what he meant was there was no Dutch working class anymore, or it was so small, it wasn't it was being taken over by immigrants, right? Blue collar, and of course factories and cleaning, and the proletarian type of jobs. And so he literally announced that there was no working class anymore. And there was also another process, and what I'm sure about is that it happened in Germany too. The companies pushed the employees pushed the employers out, with a new law that everybody could or should be his own business. It's a very fascist move, because as you all know, it's a care society. So employers, having employee is it gives a lot of overhead for an employer. So it was good for the employer. It had a workers side to it, because a lot of students, too much students come from university and higher education in economics. So now you have a lot of bookkeepers for those blue collar jobs, right? Because they were practically forced to go to the Chamber of Commerce. But what happened what more happened to the left, and that happened in the United States also. It became one big drag show, right? So if you see a Senegalese Islamic family vote for Trump, trust me, it's the moral aspect of it. We don't like that bullshit. We don't like that drag queens and open homosexuality and all that type of shit. So that weighs enough for the average immigrant. It weighs enough to vote Wilders here in the Netherlands. You know that guy. It's the Trump of the Netherlands. Only, yeah, his father is Jewish, his mother is Indonesian, so he's not Dutch, but he's the Dutch hero. He's the Trump here in the Netherlands. And you had it here. There's a lot of complaints on Muslim, on the Muslim community, but a lot of Muslims voted Wilders for the fuckery on the left. So the moral,
Hold on, Jose, 1 second, because you say something important to me. So Muslims voted for Wilders.
Muslim voted for Wilders. The moral,
Wow, that
the
is
moral standard,
crazy.
the moral standard of the left is so low that people with high moral standards run away, 180 degrees against it.
So hold on, Jose.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
That may in the Netherlands, I'm not aware of that, but when it comes to American politics, this is why one of the reasons why Kamala Harris lost, due to the right propaganda machine, was just more prevalent. They keep talking about this, and it's something that like independents or people who just want to know about the truth have to talk. It's forced to talk about. There's no candidate or no person that's centrist left or a Democrat is promoting LGBTQ, trans this,
No,
trans that.
come
That
on,
that is
come on,
not a thing.
Megan the
Okay,
Stallion.
cool. All right. So name
Come
one
on.
person. No, okay, no. You saying it's not. I'm saying it's not. Right. So I can't prove a negative. So you will have to tell me what speech did Kamala Harris said or Walt said that they are for trans this that and doing this.
I'm just giving an example. I'm just giving an example. But the massacre of the unborn is also a moral standard.
Hold on.
That's too
Moving
much.
hold on. You're
It's too
moving the
much.
goalpost. You said I'm speaking towards the LBGTQ
Yes,
crazy
yes,
trans
you are.
nonsense.
But that's just one. That's you're not going to single out just one example. There's
No,
enough
because you mentioned
examples.
because
There's
you
enough.
mentioned that you didn't mention about abortion. So I'm
No,
only
no,
responding.
I'm not going to mention all the moral standards that are being broken. I'm
I
not
know,
going to mention all of
I
them.
understand, but
I'm
again,
going to give one example. So killing that one example is not going to
I'm
it's
not
not
trying to
going to
say
do
that.
nothing.
No, I'm not saying that's your whole argument. I'm just taking things what you're saying one at a time. There's a whole bunch of things that you're saying, but I'm saying, for example,
I can give you more details because there's a parallel here in the Netherlands. There's a parallel with the United States. There's this one black group that feels more closer to the whites. You know, so the African American descendants of slavery, etc. FBA. There. It's not as extreme as over there, but there's one group that feels closer to the Dutch, and that group copies the United copies the behavior in the United States, like one on one, right? And so there's two big groups of black ex colonies with an ex-slavery relation. So there's the Suriname and there's the Antillians, right? So the Surinams, they behave as they don't behave as, but they have the position that they have taken the position that African Americans have in the United States. The Antillians are to them the Caribbean, and us, the other blacks, are the Tethers, right? It's not as strong as in the United States that you have whole movements and the hate groups, but even in the 80s, there were us Cape Verdeans were coming up, and they were calling us Portuguese. There's the same relation. There's the same type of relation. So there's here it's Suriname. In the United States, it's the Black American, what's now called the Black American. Then you have the Antillians, and that's in the United
you
States,
mean Suriname,
the
far as like
Caribbeans,
Suriname
and the
in
rest
South
are
America.
African immigrants, and the relation are exactly the same, right? It's not that strong, but it's exactly the
Yeah,
same.
I understand, but I'm only responding to what you just said, and that's why I asked. Maybe
Yes,
you know
yes. No,
something that
no, no.
I don't. Maybe you
Why
know
I'm
something that
mentioning
I
this?
don't know, but I don't know
Let me finish that.
Kamala Harris or anyone in the Democratic Party promoting what
Let me
you're saying.
finish that. Let me finish that. Why I mentioned it is that the group that feels the closest to the Dutch, the Suriname, they go into all that bullshit. You know, they embrace LGBTQ. Everybody is an ally. Everybody is an ally. They behave just like Black Americans. Everybody is an ally. Everybody is an ally. It's not. You understand? It's not.
Yeah,
Plus moral values. Black people also have high. Black Americans also have higher moral values than what the Democrats are showing.
but okay. What I'm trying to what I'm trying to get you to understand is that there's talking points of how people feel, and then there's the reality and policy. You will have to, to say that's a political aspiration of the Democrat Party, that will be a lie. Is it true that the Democrat Party more align themselves and people of LGBTQ and transgender more
Same
align
sex
themselves with
marriage.
the
Same
Democratic
sex
Party?
marriage.
That would be true. But to say that, and also there are a lot of gay Republicans, right? And
Now,
they're called log cabin Republicans.
bro,
That's a thing.
you sound in denial, and I
No,
disagree
no,
to disagree,
again, I'm
etc.
asking
But
you to
to me,
tell.
you sound in denial.
I'm asking you to tell me. You said yourself they are for the reason why America lost the election, right? Because they for the
The
LGBTQ things like that.
degeneracy, the
All right, so
degeneracy. I gave one example. Don't stick to the
what
example.
you
Let's
gave me
move,
an example in the Netherlands.
change the word to degeneracy. Degeneracy
I'm not
made
getting caught for the
a
word.
lot of
I'm
people.
asking you, what's the policy that Kamala Harris and Waltz have that to speak to what you're speaking of, far as like transgenderism? That's what I'm asking you.
Okay, okay. I have a question as answer. What did you think about the campaign?
What has to do with the question? Okay, so
What do
obviously
you
I'm not going to
think
waste our
about the
time.
campaign?
So what you're saying is just a Republican talking point that has no validity in what you're saying. Is just a scare tactic, which is working
No, but
successfully.
what's the campaign? How was the campaign of the Democratic Party? How was
So
the
right
campaign?
now, so I'll talk
How
about
was
the
it
campaign. So
working?
right now,
How was it
Donald
working?
Trump.
How were the concepts? How were the
So right
concepts?
now, I'm telling you. So right now, Donald Trump had a campaign ad about the Kamala Harris want to get and everyone, all the Republicans talking about this, about wanting to get prisoners transgender surgeries, right? And everyone went batshit crazy over it. Not But to realize that this was something that was happening under Trump, that Trump allowed, but Trump is making videos about Kamala Harris single-handedly doing this when it was happening under Trump. So that's the misinformation and
I
propaganda
ask you
that you have, that
a
you're
question
falling
about the
for
Democrats,
from how
and
far
you
you are.
talk about the Republicans. How
Gentlemen,
was the campaign? Did you like the campaign?
gentlemen,
Did you like Megan Thee Stallion? Did you like that? How did you like that?
gentlemen, let's not get too bogged down into one topic here. Let's try to get
Yes.
through it. Jose, give your last thoughts. Finish your statement, and then I'll throw it.
Well, that's it. You know, the explanation for Muslims voting for Wilders, or for people for people with high moral values, voting seemingly voting against their interests. No, against their interest. Abortion is against their interest. Degenerate is against their interest. So much so that they go against it. So they vote for the people, for the candidates that are against the degeneracy.
Yeah. By the way,
That's the explanation.
when I interject like that, it's not because I don't want to hear your thoughts. It's just that I don't want to get bogged down into one topic too much. We can always bring back another Shoot the Breeze topic that expands on it a little bit more. Um, I think it's okay, and if you're on the panel and you can't stay some extra time, that's fine. We'll finish it out. But I just want to get through all of the topics tonight. So if there's no other topic, if there's no other comment on this particular topic, let's go to another Trump. Like I said, it's a purge night, so let's just purge it all out. Let's go to Shoot the Breeze topic number 4. By the way, Bakari in the chat said that bill was signed in 2018 by Trump.